Hey guys, we are in the free online coaching classes for the JAM examination, and so far I had covered some headings in geomorphology and structural geology. So now I am planning to start with economic geology, and this will be lecture number 22. And today I will try to cover the history of economic geology. And for this topic, I referred the books The Economic Mineral Deposits by Alan Batman and Mineral Deposits by Lindgren. Welcome to my channel Success Guru and myself Panchanadam, and let's get into the heading. So actually, what is economic geology? The economic geology deals with the materials of mineral kingdom that man takes from the earth for his need of life and comfort. Actually, why it is important? The search for them give rise to voyages of discoveries and settlement of new lands, and not only that, their ownership has resulted in commercial or political supremacy or has caused strife and war. So you can see there are two images in the left and right. In the left hand side, you can see that is John D. Rockefeller, who is considered to be the wealthiest American of all time and one of the richest person in the modern history. And his main source of income is from hydrocarbon. Whereas in the right hand side, you can see that is Mir Osman Ali Khan, who is the last Nizam of Hyderabad, and he is the richest person in the history of India. And the major source of his wealth was the Golconda mines, that is the only supplier of diamonds in the world at that time. So you can see the uh, what do you call the ownership of the mineral deposits has leads to the political supremacy right here, right? So they are the wealthiest people in the modern history. So how it has been developed? So in the quest for the mineral substances, knowledge is for their distribution, character, occurrence, use has gradually accumulated, and this knowledge has led to the theories regarding their origin, and thus a subject of mineral deposits has been developed. So let us see the relation of economic geology in geology, as the greatest attention was paid to the rock that encloses the ore deposits to decipher their character, structure, and origin, and to the landform developed upon the rock. The broad science of geology arose, and today economic geology is a separate branch of geology, just like stratigraphy, structural geology, and other subjects. Okay, and here is a statement by C.K. Leith, that is the future of a mineral industry, which is the base of a nation's economy, rests largely upon the function of economic geology for a continued supply of minerals. So he had mentioned the importance of economic geology yeah, in the earlier time, that is in terms of say 1940s or something. And you can see the statement, that is the nation economy depends on the economic geology. That is what he mean to say, right? So this is how and what is an economic geology. Let us see a brief history of its development. So the first earth material used by the primitive man were non-metallic substances like flint, chert, and certain hard and soft rocks such as soapstone, quartzite, and limestone, required for the use in weapons, tools, utensils, and for carving. Clay was widely and extensively used first for the potteries and later for the bricks, and unquestionably, clay represents the first large-scale mineral industry, an industry that has persisted continuously through ages. And burned clay figures believed to be Ordovician, that is 30,000 to 20,000 BC, has been discovered in the Morocco. So that is the oldest record. And you know the Giza pyramid Giza, right? During the building of this pyramid, that is in 2980 to 2925 BC, this extractive industry must be on a grand scale. That is, the pyramid of Giza contains 23 lakh blocks of stones in an average size of 2.5 tons each. So you can imagine the scale of excavation, right? So here is someone I just want to introduce you in this brief history of economic geology. That is the first reasonable theory of Genesis was formulated by George Agricola. So this image shows he is the George Agricola. He lived in 1494 to 1555, and in his De Re Metallica, the lode originated by the deposit of minerals in canals. There is a fissures from circulating underground water, largely of a surface origin that had become heated within the earth and had dissolved the minerals from the rock. And he also classified ore deposits generally into vein deposits and stocks. And prior to Agricola, so this is the book, that is De Re Metallica. And prior to Agricola, most of the writers thought that the lodes were formed as the time of the rock as formed, right? But he recognized clearly that they were of different lineage from the enclosed rock. And this knowledge of earth materials led him to be the first to disprove strongly the effectiveness of the forked hazel stick, which was commonly used at the time for mineral identifying the mineral deposits, and he had marked advanced in scientific thoughts, and that influenced greatly the thoughts of the later writers. So he is considered to be the oldest guy who had explained the origin of mineral deposits in terms of uh, groundwater and other water that moves on the crust, right? And not by magmatic activities, okay? Directly magmatic activities. So there are actually two school of thoughts which I want to show you in the history of development of economic geology. The first one is the Neptunist school of thought, that is proposed by Abraham Cotton Webner in 1794 to 1897. So according to him, mineral veins were formed by descending percolating water derived from the primeval universal ocean. So when the earth was formed, there would be a water right on the surface, and that is called as the primeval universal ocean, and that has drained down into the earth, and that deposits the mineral deposits. So this is what the concept that is proposed by Werner, where he discarded the theory of interior source of the metals. So he don't accept the metals has been formed from the interior source, and this water descending from above into the fissure and the deposits in the vein material by chemical precipitation. According to his view, not only the sedimentary sediments but also all the igneous and metamorphic rocks were precipitated from the primeval universal ocean. So according to him, the rocks has been precipitated from the primitive ocean that was present in the at the time of origin of earth, okay, and his observation was confined largely to the vein rather than the rock. So his prime view were on the veins and not on the rock that encloses the vein. And Werner's enthusiastic lecture perhaps carried conviction to his hearer more by his personality and oratory than by soundness of his facts. So the way he expressed his concepts has been accepted by his appearance and his way of presentation, and not by the soundness of the facts. So the second school of thought, that is the Plutonist school of thought, that has been proposed by James Hutton in 1726 and 1797. He lived there, and he is the first to define the true origin of plutonic and metamorphic rock. So before him, they were saying in terms of Neptunic school of thought, the rocks has been precipitated from the primitive ocean, right? But he said it is not a way of formation. He proposed the plutonic rocks has been formed from magmatic chambers, and metamorphic rock has been has been changed its character by change in pressure and temperature, okay. And Hutton also applied his theory of magmatic origin of igneous rock to all the mineral deposits, and he claimed that ore minerals were not soluble in water but were igneous injections. So he proposed that the whole ore minerals were not soluble by water, right? But the igneous injections can dissolve the ore minerals and can reprecipitate it again somewhere, okay. And his observation were confined largely to the rock rather than the vein. So he actually observe and read the rock that encloses the vein, whereas in terms of Venner, he observed the mineral deposit, that is the vein, not the rock, okay. And Hutton's correct conclusion of the origin of igneous rocks made him to go far in attributing all the veins to melted injection and discarding the water as a possible agent. So as he was convinced with this theory, and he proposed a lot that all the mineral deposits were of igneous origin, which is actually not so, right, okay. So these are the two main school of thoughts in the 17th century, which are called as Neptunist as well as Plutonist school of thoughts. So let us see some recent developments in it. So JHL Vogat and Norway had been laying the foundation of our present day concept of the origin of mineral deposits. So starting from the idea of LED Bimunda, he examined further utilizing physico-chemical principles into the source of ascending hot mineralized solution on the basis of careful field studies of magnetic, chromite, nickel, pyrrhotite, and pyrite, and concluded that such substances were igneous injections of material derived from the igneous source by process of magmatic differentiation. So he proposed in 1893 that there is a process called magmatic differentiation, that is separation of minerals from the magma at different pressure and temperature condition. Okay. He also concluded that the hot mineralizing water were likewise derived from the magmatic chamber. So he also accepted that there will be dissolving water that is present in the crust, but that water is also from the magmatic chamber or near to the magmatic chamber. So that was the source for the heat in the water, right? So that is what his proposal. Thus, he linked more clearly than his predecessors that the process of petrology and ore formation and recognized magmatic differentiation as a process of ore formation that give rise to ore segregation or injection, mineralizing gases and vapor, and hot mineralizing water. So he is the first to propose the origin of process of petrology, and that links with the origin of mineral deposits in terms of ore segregation or injection, mineralizing gases and vapor, and hot mineralizing water. So these are some of the recent developments I just want to show you. So it is recognized, however, as we pointed out by one kata long ago, that there are many types of mineral deposits which have been formed by different process. So we cannot conclude that these are the only process that leads to the formation of minerals. There are so many processes that you will see one after the other in the forthcoming lectures. Okay. Okay. So what is the reason for giving you a brief history in this case, right? So a review of the development of the idea concerning the genesis of mineral deposits is given as to present the background of the current privileges, ideas, and discloses that most of them have been advanced in previous generation, and that at present we are only elaborating upon the or amplifying the earlier concepts. So you just want to show how it has been started, how it has been grown, and how we are dealing with this, right? So to give a precise idea and a background knowledge of the economic geology, I just shared this video. If you feel it is interesting or if you have any doubts in this, just mention it in the comment section. We will discuss in later videos. I group my videos according to the category that you can check in my playlist. You can connect with us by mail, Facebook, and Instagram, and these are the links. You can support us by like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.